All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're breaking down a really powerful framework for intentional growth. If you've ever felt kind of stuck or you're just not sure what the next step should be, what you really need is a map. And we're going to explore one today called the 5D cycle. It's a simple but honestly profound tool for your personal development. So, let's kick things off with a big question, one that probably keeps a lot of us up at night. How do we actually unlock our true potential? Not just at work, but as leaders in our own lives. Well, the secret isn't just about working harder. It's about working smarter on ourselves. Now, the source material we're looking at has a pretty official-sounding name for this: reflective enhancement as leadership growth. I know, it's a mouthful, but the idea behind it is actually super simple and powerful. True growth, it happens when we intentionally stop, look back on our journey, figure out what really worked, and then use those insights to build our future. Okay, but how do you actually do that on a consistent basis, right? That's where the 5D cycle comes in. I want you to think of it as your personal development map, a clear, reliable guide that's going to get you from where you are right now to where you truly want to be. So here's the formal definition, but I want you to zoom in on that last phrase, appreciative inquiry. See, most of us, we're taught to focus on our weaknesses, right? To fix what's broken. This cycle, it does the complete opposite. It starts by appreciating what's already working, by focusing on your strengths and using them as the fuel for your growth. It's a really positive approach, and honestly, it's a game changer. And here are the 5 stages laid out: define, discover, dream, design, and destiny. Each step builds perfectly on the last one, creating this clear path forward. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? Every great journey has to start with knowing exactly where you are on the map. So these first 2 phases, define and discover, they're all about getting that crystal clarity and building a really solid foundation for the growth you want to achieve. Before you can grow, you have to know what you're growing. It makes sense, right? So the cycle kicks off by asking a very direct, very important question. What is the one core thing you want to focus on right now? And the answer is our very first D, define. This is where you pick your affirmative topic. Now, that word affirmative is so important here. You're not defining a problem you need to fix. You're defining a positive opportunity. So, for example, instead of focusing on, say, my fear of public speaking, you define your goal as becoming a confident and compelling speaker. Can you feel that shift? It immediately frames the whole journey in a much more constructive, powerful way. So, once you've defined your topic, the next question helps you find the fuel for the journey ahead. It asks you to look back, but not at your failures, at your wins. What already works for you? What are you great at? And this brings us to the discover phase. Your job here is to basically become a detective of your own success. Hunt for those best moments, your core strengths, those times you felt totally on fire and effective. By appreciating the best of what is, you're gathering all the raw materials you need to build what will be. This is that whole appreciative inquiry thing in action. Okay, so you've defined your focus, you've discovered your strengths. Now we get to shift from analyzing to creating. And this is where things get really, really exciting. Let's dive into the next 2 stages, dream and design. With that solid foundation of strengths you've built, the cycle now invites you to look forward with 0 limitations. Seriously, forget about the how for just a minute and simply ask yourself, what does the ideal future look like? And welcome to the dream phase. This is your permission slip to envision what could be, no holds barred. You are creating a vivid, compelling picture of the future that's going to act as your North Star. So if your goal is to be that compelling speaker, what does that actually look like, sound like, and most importantly, feel like? That vision, that's your dream. A dream is fantastic, but let's be real, it needs a plan to become reality. So the next logical question is, okay, how do we actually get there? What are the specific, concrete steps we need to take to build that bridge from where we are today to that dream tomorrow? And that brings us to the design phase. This is where you become the architect of your own future. You're not just wishing for it anymore, you're literally creating the blueprint. This stage is all about mapping out the concrete actions, the habits, and the systems that are going to make your dream totally actionable. All right, we have defined, discovered, dreamed, and designed. We've done all the prep work. Now we arrive at the final and most crucial stage. This is where all that preparation meets reality. And finally, destiny. Now, this isn't about some kind of pre-written fate. It's about execution. This is the stage where you live out the plan you just designed. It's about taking those concrete steps day in and day out. It's about learning, adapting, and making real, tangible progress. You're not waiting for your destiny to happen, you are actively building it. And when you put it all together, you can see the real power of this framework. It's not a straight line, it's a cycle. That destiny phase, it naturally flows right back into the next define phase. As you achieve one goal, you start defining the next one, and this creates a continuous loop of improvement, a sustainable system for positive change and ultimately real leadership growth. So, there you have it. The 5D cycle gives you the map, but the journey, well, that's yours to take, and it always starts with that first single step. So my question to you as we wrap up is this: what will you choose to define first? What positive future are you ready to start building today?